Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday. All right, so for all those expecting me to give you stories on all the riots that happened last night and everything like that, I'm not going to bother. It's pretty much impossible to not look on any news website and see 52 different stories about protests or see videos or listen to all the foul-mouthed Hollywood celebrities coming out, or Nancy Pelosi saying that abortion was constitutional or whatever. If you want to go look at that, I figure there's no value in me bringing that to you, so I'm not going to waste your time or mine. What I want to talk about is something that is a lot more critical to preppers, and in some cases, primarily out west, but this is going to affect all of us. Now, I've talked about Lake Mead before. Big lake outside of Las Vegas, Hoover Dam, everything. Lake Mead supplies the water for Southern California, for Nevada, for Arizona, etc., etc. It also supplies the power for about 675,000 people in Las Vegas. All right? So I want to give you this. It's about 40% of Vegas's power. Lake Mead currently sits at 1,044 feet. 150 feet more in drop means there's no water to Southern California. There's no water to Arizona. There's no water to Nevada. There's no electricity to 40% of Vegas. You think, 150 feet, that'll take forever. Nah. Lake Mead's dropped 23 feet since March. Okay? Give you that. So what are we, at the rate we're going, a year away? Unless there's significant snowfall in the Rockies this year, next year, Southern California could turn into a desert again. Okay? What are they going to do? It's not like California's got other water, that Gavin Newsom's decided to pump all that out into the ocean, because God forbid we have fresh water. How does this affect everybody else? Well, obviously, if you live in Arizona, Nevada, California, or whatever it is, your life is in jeopardy, okay? No water, no life, okay? No electricity, no comfortable life, but no water, no life. So what happens? Well, let's think about all the food that is produced in California. That affects the rest of us, okay? I've said before, what is it? That one of the two, 1/3 of the fruit and 1/4 of the vegetables, or 1/4 of the fruit and 1/3 of the vegetables, one of the two, something like that, that's consumed in the United States is produced in California. That tells you how important the water out of Lake Mead is. Now, we are all going through a drought. At least, well, let's not say all, because there's plenty of you guys up north that are saying, please take some of our rain, get rid of this. But, I'll give you this. Down south, southeast United States, here, me, okay, get further south. I know Danny at Deep South Homesteads talked about the drought that they're through. We have a slight chance of maybe a little bit of rain today. Doesn't look like it. But I'll give you this idea. Y'all know I've been filling this pond, right? I'm making no progress pumping water 15 hours a day, putting it into the lake, or putting it into the pond, because I'm losing it to evaporation. I didn't do it for one day. I lost one horizontal foot of water. I tried to recoup that. I pumped water all day yesterday, still didn't get back to where I put that stick. That's how fast the water is evaporating. I've got to come up with other ideas for putting water in the pond. I've got some other ones. A lot of you guys have said, hey, get somebody to, like a pool filling company or whatever to do it. I've called them. They won't come out here, or they won't return my calls, okay? So, who knows? They don't want to come out this far. All right, I'll figure something else out. Eventually we'll get rain. I'll figure out how to divert rain or something like that. That's the next game plan. But water is crucial. And, you look at what's going on in the Southwest. Hoover Dam produces over 2,000 megawatts of power. That capacity's down 33%. You wonder where the cost of electricity goes. Okay? That'll tell you something right there. Less power, again, more cost. Let's take a look at Washington State. All right, again, we're talking West Coast. Jay Inslee, granted he's not the brightest governor out there, is telling everybody there will be blackouts in Washington this summer. Period. Okay? They can't produce enough electricity. This is the problem, guys. You have to have some sort of backup. When a state governor comes up and predicts a summer of blackouts, destruction, and death, his words, not mine, okay? That tells you that this is serious, and no amount of green energy is going to save us, okay? Not on a large scale. It just cannot be done, okay? It's not physically possible. It's a great talking point. It's not realistic, Putting a man on Mars is a great talking point, but with the technology we have right now, it ain't possible, okay? So, you need to be able to take care of yourself. On a personal level, yes, solar's possible, okay? But you think about how many solar panels you need to put up on your house to power your house, okay? We talk about the portable generators. That is to power basic necessities, okay? Refrigerator, freezer, maybe a coffee pot, okay? Unless you start getting into tens of thousands of dollars of equipment. Now start thinking about that. If it takes tens of thousands of dollars of equipment to produce power for your house, how much money does it take to produce power for, say, your neighborhood? Just your block, the people that live on your block. 20 houses, $10,000 a piece. There's $2 million. Okay. Let's start looking at that just to power your block, let alone your neighborhood. Now try your city. Okay, there's only, Vegas, what was it, 2.2 million people in Vegas? Let's see how much that costs. How many billions of dollars would it cost to get solar to power Vegas? Just billions of dollars. Think of our national debt. Billions of dollars to power one city. One city. That's it. Okay. You need to come up with, more critically than ever, your water plan and your basic necessity power plan. Okay, I'm not talking about, we need something that can power up the hot tub so we can, sit back and chill with our glass of champagne and our strawberries. No, I'm talking about keeping food fresh. Okay, the basics. Keeping your CPAP moving, keeping your insulin cold, whatever it would be. Basic necessities. You have got to take care of that, because you may go, oh, well, I'll just borrow from my neighbor. Right, because, he's going to have so much extra power to share with you, okay, let alone food. Same thing with water, guys. You got to come up with something, somehow, some way to store water. You'd be amazed how fast water disappears. Okay, It's hard to do because you really don't see it. But count how many times you flush the toilet a day, how many gallons it takes to flush. How much water do you use taking a shower? I mean, you can figure it out, time your shower. The typical shower head, I think, pumps about 2.2 gallons a minute. Okay, so figure out how many minutes and how many gallons of water you pump. How much water you use for cooking. Start figuring that out. Go, that's how much water I use in a day. How much am I going to use in a week and a month when the water spigot doesn't come on? Then you might have your eyes opened. I look at the people who live out in the Southwest, and I understand what everybody's saying. I'm stuck here for one reason or another. Okay, and I've discussed this before. No, you're not, unless you've grown roots. No, you're not stuck there. You can do it. It's just a matter of whether it's practical and how bad you want it. But here's my question. You own a house in Southern California. You own a house in Phoenix. You own a house wherever, Las Vegas. And the power goes out. The water's gone. That house you spent $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 on that you owe. Okay, you still signed the mortgage. Doesn't matter. You owe it. When the water disappears, what's that house worth? Who's going to buy it? Oh, somebody may buy it for 1/10 of what you paid for it. Great. You bought a house for $500,000. Somebody will offer you $50,000. And you may be happy to get the $50,000 and walk away with a $450,000 debt. What's that probably going to lead you to? Bankruptcy. Now, let's start bankrupting the population of Phoenix, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. What does that do to the country's economy? Do you see how this can be a huge problem for everybody? One lake, one lack of water, and this could destroy the economy of the country. What's your plan? That's something you really need to figure out, and fast. 23 feet since March. Okay, it's 1/4, 23 feet. We got 150 feet to go. I mean, 6 quarters. It means by the end of next year, at the rate we're going, there ain't no power in the Southwest. Think about that. Pinball out.